Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Wesley Chapel Toyota, and guess what? We have the refreshed, redesigned 2020 Toyota Corolla. This one being an SE trim, but here's the best news. 6-speed manual goodness in this 4-door compact car. But let's talk a little bit about the history of the Toyota Corolla. Toyota Corolla, believe it or not, has been around since 1966. We are now 11 generations into this iconic compact car. So many years has been the go-to for reliable, cheap transportation. Now, like I was saying, the great news is that with this SE trim, this is right in the sweet spot of the lineup. Starts with the L, goes all the way up to XSE. This SE really does bring a lot for the money, and the fact that you're going to get a little bit more horsepower, and you're getting a 6-speed manual, the choice of one, if you choose to do so. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2020 Toyota Corolla sedan. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice some refresh that has gone on with the front end of the business. You know, they took a lot of the styling from the hatchback Corolla from 2019, brought that styling over. You can see the headlight design, all LED daytime running lamp, very slim, and I love the way it comes so far into the center portion of the front fascia. We drop down and a little bit of a zonk. You do have some fake vent here, but the nice thing is it's not gloss black. I like this metallic gray. It's almost like a nice carbon flash like they have on General Motors products, but I really love the extension of the front fascia there, especially with the blue, really gives it a nice definition. We come across that open grille design, and like I said, taken right from the Corolla hatchback, that metallic gray really does a great job of not showing fingerprints, but it's got some nice style to it with the metallic finish. You'll see the nice touches that they've done on the bottom portion here, and then from one side to the other, just very low, very wide. The other weird area is this centerpiece here. Now, this is gloss black, but it shows the separation between the top of the front fascia and where the front fascia is right above the grille. Quite a bit of a step up to that hood area. But once we get up onto the hood, you can see how they took the Toyota emblem, kind of sunk it down a little bit into the front of the fascia there. But going up into the hood, two simple body lines that kind of curve towards the A-pillar. And this particular blue really does a great job of sparkling very well in the Florida sun. Now, when we come around the bend, I love some of the hard angles. So you'll see on the side here, very, very flat, very hard body line that kind of fades away as you go into the fender. And when we're looking at wheel and tire setup, I love this design wheel. I think that it really fits the Corolla very well. So it's an 18-inch wheel, 225 on the width, 40 series sidewall. You got that gunmetal metallic gray with the machined aluminum, but very clean design. I think it looks classy, I think it looks clean, and it looks sporty. And that's very difficult to do with a wheel nowadays, but very smooth into the fenders. Of course, we're gonna have color matched on the mirror caps, a little bit of turn signal lighting here. This one has the sunroof at the SE trim. Everything is flat black, color matched on the door handles, and I really think probably one of the things that sets this up styling wise to look sporty is that side sill extension in that metallic gray finish. We come to the rear, the way the quarter window, they kind of extend it out, the design with a little bit of plastic. I'm actually liking that rather than the glass. And then when we get to the rear, you can see the belt line coming into the rear bumper area, and then you're gonna have a very, very tasteful trunk lid spoiler. We drop down, you have your Corolla badge and whatnot. The major zonk though is this. If they would have just left this smooth, I think it would have looked a lot cleaner, but you got a nice style diffuser area. And I like the way on the SE trim, which I do like the badge first off, but second of all, I do like the way they have a nice staggered exhaust on the SE trim. Really gives it a nice touch. I guess the other zonk is you don't get LED taillights. It would be nice to have LED headlights and taillights to match. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this Corolla SE. All right, guys, we got the hood open. You do have a prop rod, but the good news is it's all the way over to the passenger side. Underneath that hood is that naturally aspirated 2-liter engine. So you're looking at 169 horsepower out of that 4-cylinder, 151 pound-feet of torque. The great news is You can get it in a 6-speed, and we have it in a 6-speed manual or a CVT transmission. 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds. MPGs is really where you're gonna come out the winner. 31 in the city, about 40 on the highway. The car weighs around 3,055 pounds. And I think one of my favorite things, just being a car guy, is that when you open up the hood, you can clearly see the engine. I could tell this is a 4-cylinder, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see all the inner bits, the alternator and everything. And I think for somebody who's newer to the car scene, I think it's smart to have that be shown and hopefully somebody teach them so that we could keep this whole car enthusiast going. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the interior and see what the Corolla is bringing to the table. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Toyota Corolla SE trim. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, this looks like a great car to drive on a regular basis. Toyota's got that great reliability. How much is this? You're looking at an MSRP right around $23,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, I love what Toyota does with their two-tone interior. You have that off-white with the darker black material. Now, I know the white's gonna get dirty, but if you clean it, I think you're gonna be okay. But I like the silver, a little bit of blue stitching on the armrest. The armrest is soft. You do have a pocket down there where you could easily put a couple chalupas from Taco Bell and a bottle of water to wash it all down. But very, very clean, very tasteful. Now, when you get to the dash, the silver trim really makes it feel high class, high level of fit and finish. Soft material everywhere, really. Down here, in the middle, and on top, you're gonna have an 8-inch infotainment system screen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is really nice. You drop it down, you're gonna have your climate control. It's your regular system, but you know what? It works, it's easy to use, and I do like the way all this is integrated very nicely. My only zonk is I feel like this screen comes up too high. Speaking of the screen, let me go ahead and throw it into reverse. There we are out back. You don't have a trajectory, but the nice thing is that it fills up that whole screen, which is great. You got your push button start and stop for the firing of the vehicle. And then you got your 6-speed manual. I like the shift knob. It's got the gates listed there for you. The throws could be a little bit shorter, but you know what? It has a nice feel to it, and it's at a great height. You can shut off your traction control. I like the way they brought the off-white down here. You got a nice little cubby down here for your Skittles. You could actually switch a gear, grab a Skittle. Switch a gear, grab a Skittle. Electric e-brake, a little bit of gloss black, but nothing too crazy. 2 cup holders. Here's your key fob. That same light plastic Toyota key fob. It's kind of on the cheap side. I wish they would upgrade that, make it feel a little heftier. But you can see the great work that went into the style here. A little hard on the armrest, but you got that same great blue stitching. And then this is where you got your connectivity. You got a 12-volt and 1 USB. And that really is going to be a zonk, is I wish they would have put the connectivity somewhere else than underneath here. Very, very small compartment in the center console here. You're probably only going to be able to put 4 Twinkies, and you're going to have to stand them up. Hopefully they don't get squished, but then you're going to put Twinkie cream all over the place. Seats, very nice material. They are cloth, but I like the material. It's durable, and they look good. You have a little bit of bolstering to add to the sporty feel. They are manual, but that's okay at this price point, $23,000. But hey, you are getting a sunroof, which is great. And my favorite part is the 6-speed manual. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this 2020 Corolla SE. All right, guys, business end. You do have manual controls for the driver's seat, but the good news is it's easy to get to fit to your body very, very quickly. Steering wheel, great thickness. The leather is nice. Buttons are all flat black, and they're easy to get to, easy to understand. You do have your lane keep assist. You do have your emergency braking. I like the silver trim. And the dash makes sense. You have your speedometer there in the center, analog tach over to the left, and then you have that digital display on the far right, which you could actually toggle through a bunch of different information. My only complaint and zonk is I wish they would have did a little bit more with the tach. The tach is such an important thing on a manual transmission car, and it sort of feels like an afterthought sitting over to the side. But the good news is seating position is great. I'm 6 foot tall. I got plenty of headroom. And like I keep saying, you got that wonderful third pedal and a good dead pedal as well for supporting yourself. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the back seat and see how much room this Corolla SE has. All right, guys, backseat time in the Corolla sedan. It did take me a little bit to kind of bend over to get in, but once you're in, I got plenty of headroom. I don't feel like my head is gonna hit the ceiling whatsoever. Same durable cloth all the way around. You only have one pocket. So everybody's gonna have to put their toothbrushes and their dental floss and back scratchers in the same pocket. You have a little cubby here for a couple Snickers, maybe a payday or two. But here's the good news is you got 2 USBs back here. Very, very important when everybody wants to keep their stuff charged. Seating position is comfy, and you even have an armrest, which is great. And it's very, very soft. Look at that. It's like Charmin soft. 2 rolls of Charmin. Try to find some Charmin right now. But very, very good back here. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk and see how usable it is in the Corolla. All right, guys, time to see what kind of junk we could put in the trunk of our Corolla. Real easy push button, open it up. Pretty good wide opening for a compact car. And if you're wondering, well, how many cubic feet is that? It's actually 13 cubic feet. It is 5 cubic feet smaller than the Corolla hatchback though. The good news though, those seats are gonna do the 60-40 split, which is nice, and you're gonna be able to maximize your room. Let's see what we have underneath here. So you're gonna have your jack and a spare. So you don't get a can of flat fix and a hope and a prayer to get home. You actually have a spare to get you where you need to go to get that tire fix. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this 6-speed manual Corolla for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Wesley Chapel Toyota. We're in the 6-speed manual Corolla SE. Now, this isn't like a Corolla SI, so it doesn't have that high-end performance like the Civic Si, but we're gonna test and see the fun factor and also the drivability factor in this manually equipped Corolla. But on throttle, really nice and smooth power delivery from the naturally aspirated engine into third gear. On the brakes, downshift. You do have automatic rev match downshifting, which is great. So you don't have to worry about blipping the throttle. And if you're new to driving a manual transmission, this transmission is so easy to drive, anybody could do it, honestly. So here we go, on the brakes, second gear. Nice, look at this. This is fun. This makes it fun. You take a Corolla and put a stick in it, and it's instantaneous fun. Now there is a bit of body roll compared to, say, a Civic Si, but like I said, that's not the purpose of the Corolla SE. The purpose of the Corolla SE is to bring you maximum value in that sweet spot area. But really transitions nice from left to right. And I think the best part is that it has an engine that really picks up the torque at a very, very low RPM, which is great. All right, guys, I want to do a little acceleration test from, let me slow down to a dead stop here. On throttle, here we go. So 0 to 60, like I said, in 8 seconds. You're not gonna win many drag races, but like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm just glad, thank you Toyota, for giving those who want a manual transmission the option to have it. And the good news is, it's an easy to drive manual. You can literally take your foot off the clutch from a dead stop and not even apply any throttle, and the car goes. So they're making it as comfy as can be, as easy as they can be for a manual transmission. The modulation of the clutch is great. It's very, very light, and it's got a perfect pickup spot in it. So if you are learning, this really is the manual transmission car for you. The wonderful thing about this Corolla is the seats are comfortable, they hold you very nicely, and they do provide some lateral bolstering there, which is nice. Nothing too crazy, but some is a welcome. It's a welcome surprise. Super smooth. Getting to that iPad style infotainment system is very easy. It is a little on the high side though, I'll be honest. I wish it was just a little bit lower in the dash. Instrumentation is very simple to read and understand. Looking out the back window is a piece of cake. Side mirrors are a great size, and I think that's what makes the Corolla so popular, is that people feel comfortable, people feel secure, people feel good when they are driving. All right, guys, I want to show you just how easy it is to drive this manual. So I have it in first gear. My right foot is, here's my knee to my right foot, totally off the throttle, on the clutch. Here comes the clutch. Look, we're rolling. We're not stalling. So just goes to show, like I said, if you're learning how to drive manual, or you want a simple to drive manual transmission, this is a piece of pumpkin pie with a little bit of whipped cream right after Thanksgiving dinner. That's how great this Corolla drives. All right, guys, one last time. Let's see how we do. Second gear on throttle, naturally aspirated, into third. Here we go. When roads get twisties, my smile gets bigger. On the brakes. It holds the line nice. Now, there is a little bit of body roll to it. Decent feedback to the wheel. Could use a little bit more, but you know what? Nothing too crazy. On the brakes, downshift in the second. Really nice. Look at this. This is where it's fun. So that's really where you see some of that great engineering that's been done. Now, could there be a little bit more? Of course, and I would love to see a TRD Pro version of this thing. That would be a blast. Maybe a turbocharger, 250 horsepower. Sign me up, honestly. Let's try this last little section before we get back to the dealership. On the brakes, feeling good. Look at this, yeah. So you can have fun in a low horsepower car. It is possible. Just gotta know what you're doing. Look at this, you just hold down the throttle all the way around. It's actually a fun car to drive. You add a manual and the fun factor goes through the roof. But we're back at Wesley Chapel Toyota, so we're gonna wrap this one up. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another fun day here at Wesley Chapel Toyota. Definitely gotta thank Jeff and the rest of the crew for getting us access to not only any Corolla, but that sweet spot in the lineup, the SE, and with a 6-speed manual. I think for the money, really brings a lot to the table for driving enjoyment and for getting great MPGs, and of course, Toyota reliability. But if it's compacts like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to give it out to Big Guns McGee. He's loving this Florida sun. He loves sweating it out here because he knows he's getting gains. So thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.